Wasn't too long ago that we test drove the brand new Honda Civic Hybrid. That's the new addition to the 11th generation Civic. And you know what, in that video, I'll leave a link in the video description, by the way, in case you haven't watched it, you will know that we were big fans of that car, and I think that is the Civic to get. Well, you know what, we weren't the only ones that thought the same thing, because just recently, just a few days ago, this was named 2025 North American Car of the Year for the Civic Hybrid. And guess what? We have it back, but this is a little bit different. This is a Civic Hybrid hatch. So let's see what the difference is. So how does the hatch differ over the sedan? Well, obviously it does have a hatchback, but it's pretty well the same vehicle. They share the same wheelbase, the same track. This is a little bit lower, but the length of this vehicle actually is about 6 inches shorter. And that's just mainly due to, you know, the body work, and you're not really going to compromise on any type of space inside when we get back in there. So this is Boost Blue, and in Canada this is only available on the hatch. So that's a reason to get the hatch if you like this color. I think it does look really good. All Civic Hybrids come with standard LED headlamps, of course. You get a sporty look here with the honeycomb grille. You have 18-inch alloy wheels. Now both Civic Hybrids are built in different plants. The hatchback is built in Indiana, and the sedan hybrid is built in Alliston, Ontario. So that's a little fact for you. Open up the fuel filler area and you have a capless filler, always nice and easy. And the nice thing is this uses regular fuel, no premium needed. And then onto the back, this is where it's going to differ the most, but is it really that different? You know, here are a couple images with the sedan and the hatch, and check it out. They don't really look that different. If you compare that to the old hatchbacks of the day of the Honda Civics, I own quite a few of them actually, there was a distinct difference between the sedan and this. It looks like a sedan converted hatch, but it is a hatch. The styling is different on the hatch over the sedan. You got different tail lamps here, a different rear valance. It's sportier looking. Get the big piece of glass here, and of course when we open it up, yeah, that is definitely a hatch. And I did a Costco run just to test it out, and it makes a huge difference compared to a trunk to be able to, you know, to load things in and out so easy on here with the big hatch. So yeah, if utility is important to you, you might want to consider that. But not only is it easier to load in, there's quite a bit more room over the sedan. So this one has 693 liters of storage room. Compare that to 419 on the sedan, so you get 274 liters more, or that's 9 cubic feet of space in here. So lots of extra room. So yeah, if you need more room, go for the hatch. On the inside of the hybrid hatch, hey, it's just like the hybrid sedan. You can watch that video, by the way. Lots of room here for a compact vehicle, almost identical dimensions. On the specs though, it does show that this actually has a little bit more front headroom than the sedan for some reason. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but it does say that in the specs. So hey, if you're a tall person, that's going to help you a little bit more. I'm 5 foot, almost 5'11", and this is how much headroom I have, by the way. And this does have the sunroof because we are in the sport touring version here. So on the inside, standard, you actually get a 7-inch driver's cluster, but if you go for the sport touring, you actually get a 10.2-inch display as well. You get upgraded from a 7-inch to a 9-inch infotainment display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The 7-inch does not come with that. So if you go for the regular hatch or the sport hybrid, they come with a 7-inch and you have wired CarPlay and Android Auto. Another thing different for the hybrids though is that they actually get active noise canceling, where the non-hybrid does not get that at all. So it's going to help in noise. We're on a very noisy highway right now. I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, but this is always a noisy highway. I like to test noise inside a vehicle on this road for sure. So yeah, let me know what you think of the noise. So what's under the hood? a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and that's matched to Honda's 2 electric motor hybrid system. Combined horsepower, 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque, which is 50 more horsepower than the gas-only variant and over 100 pound-feet more of torque than that as well. So that's a real significant increase for sure. If you want to compare this to the Civic Si, which we did earlier on, that has the same amount of horsepower at 200, but this one even has more torque than that does, and this runs on regular fuel, as we stated before, when that one runs on premium, but this one is going through an eCVT, whereas the Civic Si, you're rolling your own gears with a manual 6-speed transmission there. Behind the wheel, the Civic Hybrid feels very, very nimble. Yeah, it's a hybrid, so there's a battery, but it's not a big battery, so you're not adding a ton of weight on here. But the vehicle is very low. When you get in and out, you can feel how low this vehicle is, and that's also going to aid in the handling for sure. So what's it going to cost you to get into a hybrid hatch? Well, there are 2 trims. There's the Sport and the Sport Touring. These prices that I'm going to quote are in Canadian dollars. If you're not in Canada, just make sure to go to your local Honda website to see what the pricing is where you live. But in Canada, the Sport starts at just under $37,500, which is $3,800 more than the non-hybrid. So yeah, it's not pocket change. It's a substantial amount more than the regular non-hybrid Civic. But if you go for the Sport Touring, the top trim that we have here, that's going to run you $40,956. And that's going to give you all the other goodies that we explained to you there. So overall though, if you compare this Civic Hatch Hybrid to the hybrid sedan, this one is going to run you $1,900 more than the sedan for essentially the same car, but you're going to get more room in this one. And I'm really curious, which one would you get out of the two? Because for me, I don't know. I like the hatch, but I also like money. I like to keep money in my pocket, and if I can save $1,900, I don't know, and get the same power plant, I don't know. I'm just really curious how many people buy the hatch over the sedan, especially when they look so similar. One big reason why people choose to go hybrid is to save money at the pumps. And hey, this Civic Hybrid is thrifty there. In fact, the sedan hybrid actually gets a little bit better fuel economy than this hatch. So that one's rated at 4.8 liters per 100K in combined city and highway, where this one's rated at 5.0. Not much difference, but just a tiny little bit. If you want to compare this to the non-hybrid Civic, that is going to be rated at 7 liters per 100K in combined city and highway, 2 liters more per 100K. And you know what? You know what that equates to in miles per gallon? That's 20 mpg difference. So that is extremely substantial, and you are getting 50 more horsepower. It's kind of hard to believe it's that much of a difference, and you're gonna be that much thriftier. So like I said in the previous video, I honestly think it's kind of like a no-brainer. There are a couple other differences between the hybrid and the non-hybrid. First of all, in the rear, the hybrid uses a solid stabilizer bar, whereas the non-hybrid, I'm assuming it is a tube. So solid, probably needed for the little bit extra weight for that battery. Another thing on the hybrid Sport compared to the gas Sport, you get dual zone climate control on the hybrid when you don't get that as standard equipment, and you also get a heated steering wheel on the hybrid as well. And one other thing, this one is not equipped with a spare tire, but the non-gas version does get a spare. So if that is a concern to you, I don't know if that's going to be a deal breaker or not, but that one does have a spare. This one, probably because they have to make room for the battery system or the hybrid system, that it probably takes up that room. You get a tire inflator kit with this one. By the way, I'm adding in a few behind the scenes shots of doing our rollers, meaning that when we're doing the rolling shots of this vehicle, we didn't have a lot of time, but it's my first time using this contraption here that you're seeing that's bouncing up and down, which is called the Tilta Hydra Alien Mini. And it basically is a suspension arm that's supposed to smooth things out, and I gotta admit, so here you can see, look how much is bouncing versus how smooth the footage is. It's absolutely incredible. If this is something that you're interested in, let me know. I may do a video on this Hydra Mini itself, or if you want to see more behind the scenes content like this, let me know and maybe I can do more of that. So what do you think of this new hybrid hatch from Honda? I think they did a pretty good job. They took a already very good product in the hybrid sedan and they actually just gave it a little bit more utility and a little sportier design. But also what they did do is they gave the Civic buyer more options. So you know what? If you don't need the extra power and you want to save some money in your pocket, go for that non-hybrid. But Honda says that 40% of their buyers are probably going to gravitate toward the hybrid, and I can see why, because there are so few compromises, but it does cost a little bit more. You can save that at the pumps over a longer period of time though. So which one do you get, the sedan or the hatch? It's all gonna depend on you. If you want the extra room, and it really does make a difference loading things in and out of a hatchback compared to a sedan, hey, go for the hatch. But if you don't really need that and wanna save a little bit of money in your pocket, go for the sedan. You can't lose either way. But if you want something a little bit more sporty, you can go for the Civic Si. Same horsepower, less torque, but you can roll your own gears with a manual transmission. And of course, the ultimate in Civic performance has to be that Type R, which very few people really need that. So they really do have all their bases covered when it comes to the Civic buyers. So yeah, that's it for today's video. And once again, congratulations Honda for the 2025 North American Car of the Year. Like always, if you liked this video or any other content on this channel, I've got a lot of videos out there, not just for cars, by the way. We have tech stuff, even automated lawnmowers and travel reviews as well. Hit that like and subscribe button. First of all, it doesn't cost anything. It's absolutely free. I do all of this free of charge for you. If you could hit that like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated.